Want to show you guys how to kind of check for page headings for SEO and kind of what a normal format would be, or a normal, I guess, usage of headings, of page headings. They're not the most important thing in SEO, but there's a good convention to follow to kind of help out with your site. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you this guide we made a few days ago. And so usually the title of like a blog post or of a home page should be the H1 heading, the main page heading, and there should only be one H1 heading per page or per URL. And I'm using a blog post because it's a pretty good example. I think page headings were kind of meant for articles. So let's just take a look at the source code. So we view the page source. And the first thing you want to do is just do a little Control F and look for H1. Sometimes it's smart to actually add the little less than sign to make sure you really find it. As you can see here, there's one of one match, and that's good. So if I take away that one of two, so there's an opening and a closing tag. Here's the closing tag. Here's the opening tag. You might have a class in your H1 tag. That's kind of common. Sometimes you won't. But here we have the one H1, so that's good. We have one page heading. Now let's see if we have H2s. We have 32, and that's okay because these are subheadings. So throughout this post, we have different subheadings for different sections of the post. And you can see them here. So here's one. So I suppose we have 16 total. So that's a normal use for like the next main subheading. And let's see if we have any H3s. We do, and those were subheadings. So I think if we go down to this post, we started using H3s as a subheading of this other section. So this was under, this was the main, this was the subsection. So as you can see, there's kind of a hierarchy, and that's how you should use them. It's pretty simple. Let's see if there's any H4s. There is. It looks like a sidebar thing that we use. Don't miss out. I don't know if that's down here somewhere. And they kind of get less important the higher up the heading number you go. So this was H4. I kind of don't like using it for standardized like sidebar stuff or footer stuff, but it's not a big deal. So that's how you use them, and that's what you should check for to see. So what you're really looking for is, A, are we using an H1 heading? If you are, good. Are you using more than one H1? That's bad. Make sure you only use one. So have your developer update your website so that you're only using one main H1 heading. Also, the H1 heading, generally, a good rule of thumb is it should kind of follow the title tag. It doesn't have to. Some people say it's a good idea to put the keyword in the H1 heading, the keyword you're trying to rank for on the page. Don't overdo it. If you can fit it, great. If not, no big deal. Keep it natural. A page heading should read well. That's the main purpose of it. It's like a newspaper article, right? You don't want a weird, spammy sounding newspaper headline. The following headings, H2s, H3s, H4s, just use them logically, where they make sense. The only other recommendation I have is like don't skip an H value. Like don't go from H1 to H3. I see some sites that just do H2s and H6s only on the page. It doesn't make any sense. I think the best bet is just to start with H1s, then your H2s, and then your H3s. So that's it. Pretty easy.